Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, my Dandavat pranams to everyone. Hare Krishna. So today is Friday, the 5th of July, 2024. Most auspicious day, the Tirobhava, Disappearance Day of Sri Gadadhara Pandit, and the Disappearance Day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. So today I'm going to glorify them to the best of my ability in the short hour that we have together. So we'll meditate on them and chant their glories. But first we'll have a simple kirtan and then we'll begin. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganhabhaya Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Vrishabhanu Nandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura Ki Jai Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimat Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimat Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimat Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurikishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakura Ki Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura Tirobhava Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Gaudi Acharya Ki Jai Jai Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shibata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Baladasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai Arupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Jai Svarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parasada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sika Holsi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antadvip Mayapur Simantadvip Gautandvip Madhyadvip Koladvip Ritudvip Janadvip Modandvip Rudradvip Atmaka Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopiko Govardhan Dwadasavar Matnika Shri Brajamandal Ki Jai Shri Radha Kun Shama Kun Ganga Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Brinda Devi Maharani Ki Jai Shrimati Yogamaya Purnamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai Ketra Mandal Ki Jai Sarva Vigna Vinashakari Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai Bhakta Prabha Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Charidam Ki Jai Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai Chari Acharya Ki Jai Akara Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gauda Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shnapitam Jina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Priya Surupe Daita Surupe Prema Surupe Sahajabi Rupe Nijana Rupe Babhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe Anapita chirim chirat kurunavartino kalo samarapaitam unnata ujvala rasam svabhakti shriyam Hari purata sundara tudigatamba sadipita sadahridare kandare spudatu vasachinandanaha Yam pravajantamanapetyamapeti krityam Dvaipaino viraha katara ajuhava Putre titam mayatayo tarabobinidustam sarvabhutam hridimunimanatoshmi Bhaktya vina aparada lakshay Shiptascha karmadi tarangamadye Kripa mayitvam sharanam prapana Brinde namaste charanarvindam Pajami radam aravinda netram Smarami radam madhurashmitasyam Vadami radam karuna baradram Tato mamanasti katyana kapi Tavai vasmi najivami tvaivina Iti vignaya radhe tvam nayamam charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Taratara Shishimat Srila Bhaktivinoda Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And again, I'm offering the same millions of times Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of our most beloved Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Taratara Shishimat Srila Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. And today especially I'm offering Dandavat pranams to our dearmost Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidanandanamane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate, and all our Rupanuga Guru Varga and all the Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. So today is the Tirobhava of Gadadhara Pandit. Never be confused with Gadadhara Das, who's another great devotee in our line, but Gadadhara Pandit is directly the manifestation of Sri Radhika. Krishna wanted to experience the height of Radhika's prem, the mahima, the greatness of her love. Shiradaya pranaya mahima, this greatness. Srimati Radhika, when she sees a peacock feather, she begins to roll on the ground in great moods of separation from Krishna. Sometimes she'll embrace a tamal tree, thinking it's to be her beloved Sri Krishna. She will manifest the most extreme conditions of separation that just astonish Krishna and all the other Sakis also. These are all brought on by her immense affection and attraction for Krishna. So Krishna, he wants to taste that attraction that Sri Radhika has for him, which gives her these exalted moods, this Madanakya Mahabhav, Mohanakya Mahabhav. No one else has these moods except Sri Radhika. And these are higher than what Krishna is able to experience. Krishna is the recipient of Sri Radhika's love. And because of her love, this causes him to feel immense affection, attraction, and love towards her. But the initial love manifested from Sri Radhika. We remember from our Jaivadharma study of chapter 14, Krishna is that independent, original Shaktiman, that energetic center. And he's surrounded by his energy, the Swarup Shakti. The Swarup Shakti is entirely dependent on Krishna, on Shaktiman. They both are the same in one sense, but there is a distinction, because one is the original and one is serving the original. So that service that Sri Radhika has is all-encompassing. Every fiber, every particle of her existence is only focused on pleasing, serving, loving that Supreme Lord. So Krishna, he wants to experience what is that she sees in me that makes her so distracted. What is it that makes her act in such a way that it seems that she's become demented or something like that? Krishna doesn't do like that. Krishna's not embracing Kadamba trees. Krishna's not doing those same acts that Sri Radhika demonstrates her love. So Radhika is holding that pranaya, that love for Krishna. And Krishna wants to taste that. These are his inner desires. Shri Radhaya pranaya mahima kidrisho vanaiva swadyenat buddha madhurima kidrisho vanaiva. This adbhuta madhurima, these astonishing sweet qualities in me that only Radhika perceives because of the immensity of her love. Because she loves me so much that she sees qualities in me that I don't even know exist. Krishna doesn't even know the extent of his own beauty. This adbhuta means astonishing, madhurima, sweet qualities. So when he manifests as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wants to experience that in himself. And then finally, he wants to experience the happiness that Sri Radhika feels when she receives the sweetness of his love. Sokyam kasyam mad anubhavata. Mad anubhavata. Mad, my. Anubhav, my love for her. When Sri Radhika experiences his love for her, then her love becomes even more extreme. So Krishna, he either begs, or he steals, or he takes Radhika's bhav, her mood, and her complexion, and manifests as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But because he's taken her bhav and complexion, it doesn't mean that Radhika is any less. Because Radhika will always manifest whenever Krishna is manifesting. His Shakti has to be there. Just like in Ram Leela, Sita Devi is there. This is the Shakti. In all of Krishna's pastimes, Shakti will be there. So, but in this particular pastime of Mahaprabhu, Shri Radhika, she manifests as Gadadhara Pandit. And she's fully Sri Radhika. But she's keeping her own intrinsic bhavs and moods covered. She's not displaying these at all. Her natural mood is this Bhaumya bhav, this contrary mood, because this makes Krishna become more and more enthusiastic. Krishna likes that, in contrast to Chandrabali's mood, which is Dakshin bhav, more submissive. So Krishna likes that. So therefore Radhika, in her service to Krishna, she has that mood. But Gadadhara, for the whole of his life, never ever exhibits that Bhaumya bhav, that mood. Always he retains that. So Radhika has come to assist Krishna in tasting her moods. Whatever Krishna wants, Radhika is there to facilitate and arrange. For example, she actually is the manifestation of Yogamaya. It's Yogamaya who's arranging for the Parakiya Ras, for example. So this is Radhika's instigation. Swarup Shakti is manifesting this. So Gadadhara manifests completely. He is Radhika. Mahaprabhu has the mood and complexion of Radhika. which practically we can say is the same as Radhika ultimately. When Mahaprabhu is in the Gambhira, finally, at the end, in the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes in Puri, then he's completely submerged in the mood of Sri Radhika. Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitam Vam Vishvam Bhavam Buddho. He's saying this beautiful Shikshastakam, and he's expressing Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram. This word Ayi, this is a feminine, he's calling out as a female. He's totally immersed that he is Radhika. He's become Radhika. He has the complexion of Radhika and he has the mood of Radhika, but ultimately he's Krishna. So not so easy to understand, but we can understand this to some degree because of the gift of Harinam that he's given us. When we chant and perform this Harinam bhajan, then the mercy will flow in the sincere sadhak to understand something of this. So Gadadhara manifests. Originally, he takes his birth in what is today Bangladesh, and he comes after some years to Navadvip to be with Mahaprabhu, and always he's close by. In Navadvip, Nimai Pandit is demonstrating his arrogant scholarship pastimes, or arrogant scholar, in the school of Gangadas and then his own school. So these are very exceptionally beautiful pastimes. And Mahaprabhu is holding those moods in potential within his heart of Radhika Bhav. Radha Bhav is there. Because this is why he's come, to taste Radhika's mood. So when the Ras Leela in Navadvip, which is contained within the Sankirtan Ras at Srivasangam, then Mahaprabhu is tasting that mood of Sri Radhika in the Ras Leela, in Sambhog Ras, in the Gambhir, through the chanting of the holy name. Is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But then when he goes to Puri, then he becomes immersed after he's met Rai Ramananda at Godavari. Then he becomes immersed in that mood. That mood of Radha Bhav is ignited, but always Gadadhara is close by. He's always in the wings, so to speak. And especially in the final pastimes, the last 12 years pastimes of Mahaprabhu's Leela in Puri, Gadadhara physically always remains in the garden of Gopinath, the Tota Gopinath garden. Mahaprabhu gave Gadadhara, one day they were together in the sand dunes, and Mahaprabhu expressed to Gadadhara Pandit, I want to give you my pran, my life. And he began to move the sand, and a beautiful black topknot appeared in the sand, and then gradually he uncovered, and this beautiful, most elegant form of Gopinath was manifested directly by Sachinandan Gaurahari. Then all the other devotees came, and they also discovered simultaneously the forms of Sri Radhika and the forms of Lalita Sakhi. So these three forms were manifested directly by Mahaprabhu for the pleasure of Gadadhara to serve. So Gadadhara takes this Ketra Sannyas, and there's a pastime when he tries to break that by following Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan, when Mahaprabhu is the first time he wants to go to Vrindavan. And he wants to break his Ketra Sannyas. Mahaprabhu is very anxious that he doesn't. Mahaprabhu wants to go alone to Vrindavan. If he goes with Radhika, or with Gadadhara, he's going to be reminded of his Shyam Leela, his Krishna Leela. So he doesn't want Gadadhar to come with him at that time, and he sends him back. And Gadadhar is so distraught, he faints. The pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita describing that. But then he comes back and he serves the Tota Gopinath deity constantly. It's Radhika serving Krishna constantly. But Krishna, or Mahaprabhu, is across the other side, so to speak, in the Gambhira. It's almost like there's a division, like a curtain. The Chatak Parvat is a very large sand dune, and it's almost like a curtain. So Gadadhar stays on one side and Mahaprabhu stays on the other. Because Mahaprabhu, he sits in the company of Lalita Saki and Vishaka Saki in the form of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar. They are the most intimate associates of Radhika, so they know her bhavs and moods. So therefore, they have manifested to support, on the order of Sri Radhika, to support Krishna's tasting Radha Bhav. But Gadadhar cannot be there at the same time, because that would make a contradiction. If Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radhika and Radhika herself is sitting there, that's not going to work. But if Mahaprabhu is there with Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, then he can fully taste that Mohan Akya Mahabha. This is the mood in separation. These remarkable exhibitions of these sattvika bhavs that manifest only on the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Never ever before have these extraordinary manifestations of this ecstasy manifested in any human. When he becomes like a tortoise near the Singadvaha gate in the cowshed, and when he falls in the ocean, etc., all his limbs become elongated. So these are conditions that have never been seen, witnessed, heard of before. So these are conditions that Mahaprabhu is tasting, the complete bliss of separation that Sri Radhika felt, especially at Uddhav Kyari. When Krishna goes away for 100 years, what does Radhika experience during that time? So Krishna wanted to know the greatness of that love. But Gadadhar has to come to support that and to guide Krishna in that. So I wanted to read today, based on what I've just said, the very beautiful Gadadhar Astakam, which is written by none other than Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar is that personality who would check everything that would come to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, many times the devotees would bring poetry or glorifications, and sometimes they would have a flavor of rasabas in them, and Swarup Damodar would not allow that to come into Mahaprabhu's vision. So Swarup Damodar, we can understand, is that complete authority on what is correct and what is not correct. So he has written, Swarup Damodar, this verse, these first, in the Adi Lila, chapter 1, verse 5 and 6, this Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Akladini Shakti Asmad Ekatmana. This is written by Swarup Damodar. And the next verse that I've just quoted previously, Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisha, to taste the glories of Radhika, these are both written by Swarup Damodar. And this Gadadhar Astakam, this is also written by Swarup Damodar. So Swarup Damodar's mood was very confidential, actually. He's not making himself prominent or center stage practically at all. That's not his objective. He's in the background monitoring through his immense love and attraction for Krishna, his movements, so that he will taste this extreme bliss of Radhika's mood. He will actually experience Radhika's mood by the dedicated service of Gadadhar. This is why he's come. This is why Sri Radhika is there in the back. Mother Sachi, she recognizes this in the early days in Navadvip, that when Mahaprabhu had gone to Gaya and had met Ishvara Puripad and was becoming ecstatic, and these Radha bhavs were starting to manifest in his heart, he would exhibit so many ecstatic external moods, and only when Gadadhar was there would he become calm. And Mother Sachi, she noticed this, and she ordered Gadadhar Pandit, you always please remain with my Nimai, because you have an influence to calm him down. So it was even witnessed then in Navadvip. What to speak of in Puri. In Puri, of course, every single day, Mahaprabhu would come to the Tota Gopinath temple, and he would listen to Gadadhar Pandit reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam with great relish. No one understands the Bhagavatam more than Sri Radhika. So when she is explaining it, when she is reading it, or when he, Gadadhar, is reading it, that constitutes the highest explanations of the Bhagavatam. So every day, Mahaprabhu, and then in the evening he would go back to the Gambhira and relish those verses that he'd heard during the day with Gadadhar. Gadadhar was directed to embrace three instructions from Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu gave him three instructions. The first was to initiate his disciples, like Lokanath Goswami, like Burgava Goswami, like Achyutananda, like Madhu Pandit. There are many disciples of Mahaprabhu didn't take any disciples, but Gadadhar was instructed to take the disciples. So that was his first directive. And then the second was to proclaim the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is what he was doing with Mahaprabhu directly. And the third was to worship the Gopinath deity. These three directives he was instructed by Mahaprabhu to embrace, which he did for his whole life. But this Gadadhar Astakam describes siddhantically, authentically, tattvically, exactly the position. Because I can remember a few years ago, there was a conception sort of came around that Gadadhar Pandit was what was left over after Mahaprabhu had taken her bath in Kanti. That idea is completely absurd. If we consider someone acting a role of somebody else, does that mean that other person is going to lose their character? If we're acting out some famous person on the stage, does that mean that famous person will no longer have his own characteristics? That they'll actually be lost because the other person has them? No, that's absurd. Gadadhar is directly Sri Radhika. Gadadhar Das is described as the halo of Sri Radhika. Gadadhar Das is another personality that we can talk about at another time. Actually, Gadadhar Das is like a follower of, internally, of Baladev Prabhu. He's like a, follows Nityananda. It's different. Don't get the two confused. We're talking today about Gadadhar Pandit, who is directly Sri Radhika. So I'm just going to sing the first verse, and then I'll just read the translations as much as we have time for. And then, of course, we have to glorify our most beloved Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura as well. But I've sent a very, very beautiful lecture around by Srila Bhaktivinoda Bharati Maharaj. And if you have the time to read that, especially today, because I've mentioned many times, on the day of their appearance or disappearance, if we glorify them, we offer some Pushpanjali, there's no doubt that a special window will be opened from that world, and mercy will come from these divine personalities. So it's our duty, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Bharati Maharaj has trained us, to always glorify these personalities on their appearance and disappearance days. So the first verse of this Gadadhara Astakam, it's in the same melody as we sing the Radha Kripakataksha. So I'll just sing this through. Swabhakti yoga lasanam sada braje viharinam hari priya ganagaram sachi sutta priyeshvaram sarada krishna sevanam prakashakam mahashayam vajamyaham gadadharam supanditam gurum prabham. So this Gadadhara Pandit I am worshipping. Now the translation. Now always remember who this is by, Swarup Damodar. That personality who eternally wanders in Braj while playfully performing her own loving devotional service. Immediately he's acknowledging this is Radhika. In other words, Sri Radha, who is non-different from Gadadhara Prabhu. These are the words of Swarup Damodar. Is the chief among the beloved damsels of Sri Hari. As the foremost of the beloved associates of the son of Sachi, he reveals the process of service to Sri Radha and Krishna. I worship that magnanimous, exalted Pandit and Guru, Sri Gadadhara Pandit. So I've described a little bit of his specific services to initiate, to take responsibility for those who wanted to take Diksha from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He took that responsibility and gave them Diksha on the order of Mahaprabhu, and he worshipped the Gopinath deity on the order of Mahaprabhu also, and he spoke on Srimad Bhagavatam. He spent his youth listening to Advaita Acharya in Navadvip. He was totally immersed in the Shastra since a very, very early age. So these are the qualities of Gadadhara that we're hearing. So the chief of the beloved damsels of Sri Hari. We have to be fixed completely understanding who is this Gadadhara. And of course, we have to understand, because there are some schools of thought that consider that, oh, at night at some time, then Gadadhara will manifest his female form and Krishna will manifest his, or Mahaprabhu will manifest his Krishna form, and then there'll be conjugal relationship between them. This is, again, totally absurd. All the parikas of Mahaprabhu are in a mood of service, of Dakshin Bhav, all of them, all of them, all of them. There are no conjugal external relationships amongst the followers of Chaitanya. Mahaprabhu has come for a specific purpose. He's come to give us tremendous gifts to the conditioned souls. He's come to explain who was Krishna. He's come to give us Parakiya Ras. He's giving us the Maha Mantra to empower us to understand all these tremendous topics. He's giving us Raganuga Bhakti. He's put it on the map entirely. So there can be no deficiency in there, no anomaly, no immoral behavior or anything of that nature. Not with Mahaprabhu. Krishna, that was different in Vrindavan. Krishna and his relationships with the gopis is fully Parakiya, but we are understanding they are all his Shaktis. They're his energies that he has Parakiya relationships with, because it's the extremity of bliss in that relationship, and that is all arranged by Yogamaya for Krishna's pleasure. But in Gaura Lila, that is that truth is explained because Mahaprabhu is explaining the glories of Krishna in Vrindavan. That's what his teachings are all about, because he wants to taste Radhika. So much of his teachings are about Radhika. Mahaprabhu's teachings are about Radhika. They're pointing in that direction of Vrindavan. So the second verse, He is fully conversant with the process of manifesting the conceptions and moods of the ever-fresh Ujjvala Madhurya and other rasas. He is fully absorbed in sporting in the waves of rasa within the ocean of astonishingly variegated, loving devotion to Sri Gaura Hari. He is the revealer of the foremost path of Rag Bhakti and the bestower of the residence in Sri Hari's holy abodes. Headed by Braj, I worship that exalted Pandit and Guru, Sri Gadadhara Prabhu. So these are very profound verses, talking about rasa, which is what we're discussing in our Jaiva Dhamma, the intricacies of rasa tattva. But when we come into the lila, they stand on the platform of the tattva that we've been discussing. He is venerated and worshipped by the multitude of devotees who have taken exclusive shelter of the lotus feet of the son of Mother Sachi. So all the devotees who are worshipping Mahaprabhu are taking shelter in their connection with Guru through Gadadhar. Sri Krishna, who is splendidly situated within Sri Gaura Hari's lotus heart, in other words, Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, which is saturated with bhav, Krishna's heart is saturated with bhav, is alone his dearmost beloved and very life. This is of Gadadhar, Radharani. Sri Gadadhar Prabhu has bestowed upon Mukunda, Mukunda being Krishna, in his golden form as Sri Gaura Hari, the nature of the moods of his own heart. In other words, Sri Radha's loving devotion to Krishna. So Radha's loving devotion to Krishna, which is so extreme and extraordinary, Gadadhar or Sri Radha has infused into the heart, those bhavs into the heart of Krishna directly. That was Krishna's purpose, Mahaprabhu's purpose for his advent, to taste these moods of Sri Radhika. His sole purpose is to manifest the nature of service to Sri Sri Yugal Kishore. We've said many times that the symptom of love is service, seva. So here is Gadadhar performing this seva to Krishna in her form as Gadadhar, always there. By the way, Bhaktivinoda Thakura is always worshipping Gadadhar, Gaur Gadadhar. We sing this beautiful song every day here in Surabhi Kunj. Bale Gaura Gadadhar. Bale Gaura Gadadhara. Aroti Nehari. Nadia Puraba Bahe. Jao Bolihari. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura, he's glorifying Gadadhar. And they both disappeared, or Bhaktivinoda Thakura chose to disappear on this day. Bhaktivinoda Thakura is the Gaura Shakti. We say in his pranam mantra, Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidanandanamane Gaura Shakti. He's carrying that Gaura Shakti within him. How else could Bhaktivinoda Thakura accomplish such phenomenal seva in this world? In the form of all of his numerous writings, his discovery and establishing the Yog Pit and all the different holy places in Gauradham, his teachings, his life, even his moving into the British Raj, so to speak. The British were here at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakura, and they had so much respect for Bhaktivinoda Thakura. And with that respect, he was able to propagate the principles of Vaishnavism to the world through many important personalities. And his son, of course, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he continued this. But all of this is like we have the Ganga is manifested by Bhagirat. Bhagirat called the Ganga to come, and she finally manifests. And similarly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is calling this Bhagavat Dharma, this current of Mahaprabhu's teachings into the world again. I described yesterday how there's a darkness after Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when there seemed to be no prominent preachers in the Gaudiya line. And after 100 years, because it's described that Bhaktivinoda Thakur could not even find a Chaitanya Charitamrita until he was about 25, 26 years old. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was such an erudite reader and scholar, and he couldn't even locate anywhere in his research a copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's how much the preaching had declined. But as I was saying yesterday, that this is Radhika's desire to manifest the teachings of her beloved Sri Krishna in the form of Mahaprabhu within this world, because he had this desire, this compassion. Rag Mag Bhakti Loke Karite Prachan. He wanted to give the world this Raganuga Bhakti. It was the time, the one time in the whole day of Lord Brahma when this Raganuga Bhakti is going to be propagated. He's come first of all primarily to taste that Rag Mag, Prem, to taste that Prem, Prem Ras, Niryase, Korite Ashvadan. He's come to taste that Prem, but he's come to distribute Rag Mag Bhakti Loke Karite. But this is what he's come to distribute. So Srimati Radhika, she's sending all of her maidservants, because we've said, so what is the gift of Mahaprabhu? What is that Swabhakti Shriyam that Mahaprabhu wants to give? We will not taste that Unnata Ujjvala Ras. Krishna will taste that. Sri Radhika will taste that. We will serve that, ultimately in the form of Manjari Bhav, that Swa Bhakti Shriyam, Krishna's own bhakti. So we should know these truths very well, and everything else will make perfect sense, or everything else will be in sync if we understand this. All our line, they're all manjaris coming from Sri Radha, especially Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kamala Manjari, especially. I'll just read a couple more of these, then I want to read something from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. His sole purpose is to manifest the nature of service to Sri Sri Yugal Kishore within the secret forest groves. How is he doing that? Through showing us how to do. Mahaprabhu is our bhajan shiksha guru. He's showing us how to do bhajan. He's demonstrating how to do bhajan through his followers, particularly Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, all of these personalities. Krishnadas Kaviraj himself, Kasturi Manjari, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Vinod Manjari, and of course, the great, great Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They're all carrying Sri Radha's current on behalf of Krishna into this world. He always bestows rati for the moods and services of Sri Radhika's Sakhis. He is the original form of the foremost Madhurya Ras. The original form of Madhurya Ras and sweetness is emanating from Sri Radhika. I explained this in the very beginning, that she is the origin of the love for Krishna. She instigates it. It starts with her. She is the one who is attracted to Krishna. We should appreciate this point carefully. She is the one who's giving her whole. Krishna is described as Bahusaka, many-branched. He has to give his affection and love to Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, the Sakas, etc., the cows, all of Braj. So many personalities. But Sri Radhika is Ekatma. She's one-pointed. only to Krishna. So her potency of love is immense, and it's more than Krishna's. So this is Gadadhar. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is carrying that same bhav in his heart, Gora Shakti. He's carrying that. He is the original form of the foremost Madhurya Ras, as the best of perfected gurus. Yes, I said these three. He's the guru. He always provides the protection of his lotus, of Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, to those who take his shelter. Anyone who takes the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to come under the shelter of Gadadhara Pandit. Gadadhara Pandit is such an exalted personality. So I worship that exalted Pandit and Guru, Gadadhara Pandit. So you can read for yourselves these other 5 or 6 verses of this Astakam. It's really, really beautiful. But I want to just read a little bit to, we will hear so many glories, external glories of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur today. How he defeated so many Apasampradayas, he defeated Vishakshain, this apparent incarnation of Mahavishnu, so many dacoits, and he wrote so many numerous treaties and documents and books describing bhakti. But what was his innermost, the essence of his teachings? We're actually coming to these essence by reading our Rasa Tattva. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has made the platform through the first chapters of the Jaiva-dhamma. Now he wants to give us the very pinnacle. And in the last chapter, basically, with Vijay Kumar, he's going to give the picture of someone who has achieved that pinnacle of devotion. This is the service, the enormous service. In Vrindavan, there were 6 Goswamis to manifest all of Braj. In Goradam, there is 1, the 7th Goswami. What a difference. It doesn't minimize the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, of course. It's just a Vaishishtya, a speciality. And all that fell on the very broad shoulders of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who manifested basically this holy Dham. No one knew even where the Yoga Pit was before Bhaktivinoda Thakur resolutely prayed and diligently worked towards finding that, studied so many maps, etc. Eventually he was granted the vision. And he named the other mutt, which was holding a wonderful Mahotsav today, Swananda Sukara Kunj. Swananda. That means the bliss. Swa Ananda. Sukara, with happiness. This is the place of Ananga Manjari in Radha Kund. So he's bringing Braj here in all his conceptions. In this Navadvip Bhav Taranga, you can read all Bhaktivinoda Thakur's mystical visions at the different places that he's visiting, showing us the authenticity of Goradam. It wasn't shown previously. Mahaprabhu was only manifest 500 years ago. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is such an innovator, such an incredible pioneer. The 7th Goswami. So I want to read a little bit from the Kalina Kalpataru, just to appreciate Bhaktivinoda Thakur's heart. What is his essence of his himself, which he's giving to the world. So I'm going to start reading from Song 7, if you have this very beautiful book. It's on page 138. You can read this. He's saying, "When will the spiritual master and the Vaishnavas be compassionate to me, so that attachment to the Lord without any material designations will manifest in my heart?" Bhaktivinoda Thakur is always exhibiting this highest quality of humility, which is absolutely essential to enter into these pastimes. Without this quality of Trinadapi Sunichena, just as Mahaprabhu is describing in his Shikshastakam, then the realizations of these truths cannot manifest. Because the essential truth is that I am very small and Krishna is the complete whole. And my covering of Maya is to make me think that I am something special. And that's what needs to be purified to move forward. Genuinely, that needs to be purified. So this is what so many of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings are pointing to, this direction. We sing the Falshruti every single day. It's saying the same thing, verse after verse after verse. The Jiva is Anuchit, Krishna is Vibhuchit, complete. When will we realize that and give up this idea to exploit this material world? When will my spiritual body become manifest? When will the gopis kindly show me the pastimes of Radha and Krishna? The gopis are the only ones who can show us the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and the manjaris, Kamala Manjari. While seeing their beautiful forms, I will become like a madman. Thus I will give up all considerations of caste and family and go live in the forest of Kadamba trees. He's writing in his meditation here. When will the ecstatic transformations appear in my body, such as perspiration, shivering, standing of the hair on end, tears, fading of the bodily color, being stunned, inertness, and choking of the voice? These are anubhavs and sattvika bhavs we've been studying. So when will these bhavs appear on the screen of the heart of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur? When will I see the abode of ecstasy, Sri Vrindavan, and serve Radha and Krishna as a maidservant of the gopis, a maidservant of the gopis, not as a gopi, but as a maidservant, as a manjari. Sakhi Bhav was not what Mahaprabhu came to give. Who is the Sakhi that we are going to connect with to get that Sakhi Bhav? There must be a person who has that Sakhi Bhav to get it. Mahaprabhu himself did not bestow. Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, they were Sakhis, but they did not have their line where they were distributed, because they knew that was not the purpose of Krishna's advent as Mahaprabhu. The line begins with Rupa Goswami, the first maidservant of Sri Radhika. When will I meet Sri Narottam Das Thakur, another maidservant, Champakalata? When will the purport of his songs, Pratana, enter my heart? These songs of Lalasamayi, these songs of longing, when will this happen? When will I be able to serve you? I am a servant of Sri Chaitanya. I give up all other attachments and with folded hands beg to remain fixed at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya. These are the moods of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. These are the internal moods, the essence of his moods. When will I receive the good fortune so that the Vaishnavas will consider me as their servant? He's always reminding us of Vaishnava Seva, Guru Seva, these Dham Seva. He's taking us by the hand, pointing it to us very clearly. I will sing about the transcendental qualities of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan, being intoxicated due to drinking a maddening beverage in the form of nectar from the lotus feet of my spiritual master Jagannath Das Babaji. He took a family guru, Bipin Bihari, but he later fully submitted to Jagannath Das Babaji. The fruitive workers, the mental speculators, and those persons who are envious of Lord Krishna will reject this beggar with hatred. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself will not spend time with those people. The smarters who are attached to performing ritualistic ceremonies will conclude that this person is devoid of all sense of proper behavior and thus extremely restless. They'll consider him something of a madman. Persons who are proud of their material knowledge, as well as those who are impersonalists, will give up my association, considering me to be a madman. In these poems, nothing is hidden. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is opening his whole heart for our contemplation, immersion, meditation. The most pious Vaishnavas will mercifully embrace me because of seeing how I have given up all bad association. When will this insignificant and sinful person exhibit ecstatic transformations in his body due to touching the bodies of the Vaishnavas. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Chandra are unlimited. I have no power to understand them. This is a fact. My beloved Lord Krishna, the Absolute Truth, is inaccessible even for the scriptures. Who has the power to understand the limit of his pastimes? Why then do foolish persons, after careful consideration of the scriptures, not accept the pastimes of Gaura as unlimited? Which scripture states that the unlimited has a limit? The unlimited has a limit? No. The unlimited is unlimited. Mahaprabhu's pastimes are unlimited. Hearing that Lord Krishna is under the control of the scriptures, I feel like laughing. Lord Krishna desired to become Lord Gaura, and so he incarnated at Navadvip along with his abode, Vaikuntha. Whenever Lord Krishna comes to this material world to deliver the living entities, all of his associates accompany him. In the incarnation of Sri Gaurachandra, his two doorkeepers, Jai and Vijay, appeared as his enemies. That was Jagai and Madai. The scriptures state that Jai and Vijay were demons in their previous incarnations, but in this pastime, they were born as learned brahmanas. They exhibited enmity towards the Lord on the strength of their knowledge of Shmriti and logic. Being fully intoxicated with pride, they fought with Lord Gauranga Chaitanya. So these pastimes are very significant. So they just take us deeper and deeper into Vrindavan. And eventually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is wandering in Vrindavan. He says, please see Nandagram, the residence of Nanda Maharaj. Please see this place where Balaram performed his Ras dance pastimes. He takes us fully into a parikrama, practically, of Vrindavan. He talks about the Jamuna. He talks about so many of the beautiful forests and the kunjas. So this is his heart. Desiring in this way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sits within the forest of Godrum, this forest. He is full of anxiety, hoping for the mercy of the Lord, and thus he always weeps in a solitary place. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's heart. So you can all read these pastimes today. But my point was to appreciate the inner essence of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as well as, of course, of all his unbelievable, phenomenal, amazing contributions to this world. We would not be sitting where we are today without the mercy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. And his worship of Gaur Gadadhar is most prominent in his demonstration of worship. His most worshipable deities were Gadadhar, Gaur Gadadhar. We've just heard his glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also his glorification of Gadadhar is there daily, practically. So we have such a package of meditation today between Gadadhara Pandit and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's monumental, it's huge. So I hope I've done some justice to glorifying these two remarkable personalities. They are the lights of our lives. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kamala Manjari, and Gadadhara Pandit. Really we are following in their footsteps. They are guiding us to know how to relish the gifts of Sachinandan Gaurahari. So it's a combined effort of the transcendental personalities to gift the jiva such a monumental benediction in this most fallen, practically the most fallen Kali Yuga in all the other 1,000 Kali Yugas of this day of Lord Brahma. It's the most fallen, the most fallen. So, something for our meditation today. So thank you for your patience and listening to something of the glories. They're endless, of course, so I've just very just touched the very edge of them. But you can, in your own time, go deeper into them because they are internal meditations and reflections. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura ki jai, Srila Gadadhara Pandit ki jai, Tirobhava ki jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gol Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. It's our duty to understand Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivinoda Thakura and Gadadhara Pandit, because by understanding these personalities, then we understand the gifts that they're bestowing. And once we understand their gifts and how can we actually become qualified to receive them, we first of all have to know what they are. We have to know the nature of Parakya. We have to know the nature of Manjari Bhav. We have to know the nature of who is Gadadhara. On this day, of course, Gadadhara Pandit leaves his body the same way as Mahaprabhu does. The priests today, Radharaman Prabhu in Puridam at the Tota Gopinath temple, they all concur that Gadadhara left his body by entering into the deity of Gopinath. This Tota the same as Mahaprabhu did. Mahaprabhu, sometimes there are saying that he went into the sea. Others said that he just disappeared. But the most prominent understanding is that he went into the body of Gopinath, and there's a crack in his knee where they say that's where he went in to the body. And Gadadhara, after Mahaprabhu left this world in 1534, then practically a few weeks later, Gadadhara left this world. Swarup Damodar, he leaves on the day of the Rath Yatra festival, which is in a few days' time. I think it's Sunday, the Rath Yatra festival itself. So Swarup Damodar, he leaves then. And Gadadhara becomes very old very, very quickly after Mahaprabhu's gone. He's just actually waiting to meet Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya comes and doesn't have darshan of Mahaprabhu, but he does have darshan of Gadadhara Pandit and has darshan of his Srimad Bhagavatam. So Gadadhara Pandit leaves on this day of the Tirobhava. And Bhaktivinoda Thakura left his body in Calcutta. And his son, Lalit Prasad, was there at the time and didn't understand clearly that the body should not be cremated of such a Mahabhagavat. So, but he didn't know that. He cremated the body. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very unhappy about that and went the very next day to Calcutta, and he picked up those ashes and he brought those ashes to Swananda Sukata Kunj Mandir today. And that's, the ashes are underneath the murti of Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Those are his remnants, his final remnants are there. So that's his full samadhi, is at Swananda Sukata Kunj. And this was his place of residence at Surabhi Kunj. This was the place where he wrote the Jayavadama. So these two places we celebrate at today, glorifying his disappearance day. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura ki jai, Srila Gadadhara Pandit ki jai, Gol Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyavacha, Patitanam Pavnebhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.